Welcome back to the second event match to celebrate the beginning of our Machine vs. Man Team League. Tonight we have the Average Joes Zerg CudleZerg facing off against an all-star cast of protoss bots, some of which not only rank in the top 3 for the protoss race, but also top 3 for all bots on the SCHNAIL ladder. The first game will be against Locutus on Jade, followed by BananaBrain on Roadrunner, and lastly Stardust on Destination. With all the intro stuff out of the way, let's head into game 1. And starting up here in the top left, we have our Average Joes player, CudleZerg. And down here in the bottom left, we have our bot, Locutus. Locutus, currently ranked 3rd on the SCHNAIL ladder for Protoss bots. CudleZerg doesn't actually play on the SCHNAIL ladder, has only played practice games against bots and things like that. However, they hover between 16 and 1700 on the official Blizzard ladder. We'll have to see if they can bring some interesting builds and keep the Protoss bots on their back foot. And seemingly have a probe going out. Standard pylon on 8 at natural. And it does look like we have a 9 Overlord no pool from our CudleZerg. Now, we'll have to see what he wants to do. Ideally, he tells me he likes to play more Muta heavy, but with the rise of Corsairs in double Corsair builds, he has to really scout beforehand on committing before to Mutas. We do have a Forge from Locutus. And Locutus scouts CudleZerg on the first try. Do have a 12 hatch coming up. I mean, so far everything has been pretty standard as far as this matchup goes. Nothing crazy like early Ling rushes or Zealot rushes or anything like that. Some of the bots do prefer to go 2-gate as opposed to Forge Fast Expand. However, you know, you have to scout out which ones do which. And CudleZerg finally getting his overload over that natural. Does see that Forge Fast Expand coming up. Very peculiar. Locutus does actually have more than 400 minerals. Opting instead to make the 2 cannons and a gateway first before the Nexus, despite scouting that the Zerg hasn't even finished their pool yet. Interesting choice from the Protoss bot Locutus. Oh my goodness, and we actually have a proxy. We'll have to see. Is it going to be 1-gate, 2-gate? 1. And oh my goodness, our Average Joe player has actually scouted this out. However, we'll have to see what their response is. Seems like they were trying to expand there, it looks like. A lucky choice. Deciding now to apparently take this other side as their expansion. And they do finally have some Zerglings hatching to take this down before any real shenanigans can get up to start. Locutus starting a 4th cannon at its natural. Still no natural Nexus though. And CudleZerg should easily clean this up. I mean, yeah, the Zealot didn't even finish. There was no way he was going to get that out in time. Deciding to let the 2nd gateway even finish. And Locutus, not in the best of positions, unfortunately. You know, 4 minutes in, no natural Nexus, basically just a gateway and some cannons. Does throw down a core to try to get its tech started. CudleZerg deciding to leave that gateway there for now. And doesn't really have any drones at the natural. Fortunately, having to use a lot of that larva initially to stop that proxy. We do have a Zealot moving up though, so we'll see if Locutus can maybe score some hits. And a Sunken going down. 2 Sunkens going down. CudleZerg scouting that there is indeed still no Nexus there, so he has to imagine that while he may not have scouted everything, Locutus is going pretty one base heavy. Does end up running that Zealot by. Fortunately, Sunken Colony is not done in time. See if he can get any drone kills. For now, just taking out 2 Zerglings. Oh, nope. Body blocking apparently a building he was planning on making there. Will he be able to catch these? Does take 1 Zealot out. Other Zealot feeling maybe a little frisky despite not being able to kill this many Lings. Locutus finally deciding to take his natural Nexus. I mean, realistically, he is pretty safe from attacks in the front, but I gotta say, yep. CudleZerg recognizing it as well, but the fact that his Overlord has not been shot down yet. Locutus lacking a lot of anti-air at this point, so I imagine that's not necessarily just for Scourge to take out any Corsairs that may show up. I do believe CudleZerg is deciding to go Mutilus for this match. Getting a nice little SimCity set up. Still really has no drones mining at his natural. And yet still has more workers than Locutus does at this point. Natural Nexus finally finishing. We do have a little Zealot poke, but I mean, what is he really going to do against 2 Sunkens? I mean, he gets a good try to run by, but we got Zerglings that can come and reinforce. We've got, they take a lot of damage, you know, going down. And they would even gain the high ground advantage by going up the ramp because this is an inverted map. Locutus deciding now is the best time to maybe take a 3rd. I gotta say, it has not done a very good job scouting out. And you can see the power of denying scouting to the Protoss when they don't go for a quick Corsair. And also the fact that that Corsair would really be useful against these Mutalisks that are starting to hatch and have just hatched. So far we've got, what is that, you know, about 7 mutas. That's enough to start one-shotting workers, so I think CudleZerg is going to start moving out. In fact, we have our 9th muta hatching. He's deciding, you know, it's just time to go. Locutus finally having a unit that can shoot up air that's not a cannon. But we'll have to see if that ends up helping him, because these mutas have arrived into his natural and are picking off his workers as we speak. Oh. Are in the range of the cannons at least for now, but gonna go into the main, see what they can get done there. And I mean, this is basically game-ending damage right here. Locutus dropping workers like crazy. Down, oh my goodness. Over half his workers being gone. Not much of a chance of reclaiming his main either probably right now. Single Dragoon, second Dragoon popping out there. I mean, CudleZerg is not even really microwaving his mutas at this point, just letting him go. Simply because there's just not a lot of things not enough things that can shoot up in the air. We do seemingly have a little counterattack. Locutus trying to scout around, get just any fight that he can maybe take, or area that might be lacking some defense, but not able to currently find it right now. And CudleZerg may be overextending just a little bit, not microing his mutas, seemingly let him run into areas where they could be picked off and killed, but the damage is done. I mean, it's almost a 4 times worker advantage for the Zerg, and the protoss is rapidly running out of money. I mean, he does have a couple workers here, and that base hasn't been scouted out just yet, but he's basically going to lose his main, and I can't imagine. Yep, see, he's got more mutas ready. So as soon as they kind of pick up and kill off these zealots, I can't imagine they have anywhere else they're going to head towards except for Locutus's main base. And with that, the Nexus falls, and the main, I mean, realistically, the whole main is just gone at this point. I mean, you're not saving this. You may be able to make like 1 gate Dragoon, but CudleZerg, 4 hatch muted Ling, that's easily gonna overwhelm 1 gate Goon. And that's assuming he can even make consistent Goon production with how little workers he's got right now. Making a second core for some reason. I think Locutus starting to bug out because of how bad of a predicament it's in. And with that, looks like the mutiling attack on the front has started. Or at least some of the units got dragged by those 1 gate goons trying to, for some reason, engage. I don't know why Locutus wouldn't try to keep them back, but with that, that's going to be game. Unfortunately, we don't see Locutus coming back from here, but we'll let the game officially play out for a little bit. I mean, again, realistically, 4 times workers, almost 9 times as much supply. I mean, yep, just 2 workers. Oh, and with that, GG has been called. CudleZerg takes the game, first game down, and this best of 3. And with Locutus's fall to Mutilus, how will BananaBrain fare in the next game? Time to find out. Starting down here in the bottom, we have our CudleZerg from Average Joes. And in the top, BananaBrain. Now, BananaBrain is currently ranked 2nd on the SCHNAIL ladder. We'll have to see if he might be able to slip by or perform better than Locutus did last round. Not to say that Locutus is a bad bot, but it didn't exactly have maybe the best game plan. So we'll see if BananaBrain has a little bit better plan. Also, seemingly has good luck on its side. It did spawn as yellow, which I do find pretty ironic and funny. Currently, CudleZerg not going towards the correct natural. Let's see if he's able to quickly scout out BananaBrain. And so far, seemingly again, both players opening pretty standard, nothing too crazy. We got a pylon at the natural, we got a 9 overlord, no pool. Oh, and as I say that, oh my gosh, a 9 pool. I wonder if he's gonna Zergling rush or maybe parlay that into something more important. We do have a forge coming out for BananaBrain. And BananaBrain putting down the double scout. Something bots can afford to do, considering they can again individually micro all of their units so they can mineral boost, so they haven't really noticed this loss of income from sending 2 scouts. BananaBrain looking like it's about to take, looking like he's about to take his natural expansion. And looks like that's more of just a defensive pool. Since it is a 4-player map, it is a little bit harder to scout, and I can imagine that CudleZerg deciding to pick a more defensive build. So that way, if he is 2-gate rushed, he's able to more easily defend himself. Natural Nexus on 15 and a cannon. I mean, that's pretty standard. Chasing the probe now. Taking his gas. And a third. Seemingly deciding, you know what? Haven't been rushed yet. Probably not a zealot rush, so let's just go ahead and take the third. And in that case, he would be guessing right, considering we do have a Forge Fast Expand going first. And the Zerglings were able to kill that probe, so BananaBrain completely blind to what CudleZerg is doing right now. We don't have a layer though yet from CudleZerg. Finally confirms that it is a Forge Fast Expand. Core started for BananaBrain. Sending out another scout just to try and confirm. I mean, realistically, whether you're playing against a bot or a human, that is a good idea. If your first probe gets taken out pretty... unfortunately, though, not really scouting much outside of what he already scouted. Sees the natural hatchery and then is taken out immediately by CudleZerg's Lings. And we do have a Hydra Den. Is this going to be a Hydra rush or just more of a aggressive Hydra opening into more of a macro build? We'll have to see. Stargate starting from BananaBrain. Imagine he'll follow that up with a Citadel. We do not have +1 started though yet. And also making a Zealot. Starting Hydra Speed. And just starting to drone up. What is that? 6, 12, 3. CudleZerg may be attempting to actually do a 973 now that I've checked his drones. And I think this may actually confirm it. Though usually you would take the 4th hatch, you know, like at your natural or something. I do believe it was Zero who has popularized a variant where you take a quick 4th hatch with the, or a 4th base with your 4th hatch. Do you have a Corsair coming out onto the field? Scout everything out. Going directly to that Zerg base. Not messing around, not saying, you know, hunting any overlord, saying screw that, we need to see exactly what he's got since he's killed all my scouts. Sees no lair, but he does see a Hydra Den. And scouts a nice batch of Hydras actually out in the open. Harassing these overlords, but I don't think he's going to get a kill. I mean, it's just 1 Corsair, 2 Corsairs currently, and they're pretty much covered by the Hydras, so. +1 almost done. Legs about a third of the way done. Still making Corsairs and researching +1. To me, that looks like a +1 Zealot build. Probably gonna make, you know, 6, 7 Corsairs, something like that, and mass Zealots, maybe a little Dragoons, some Templar. Pretty standard stuff coming out of BananaBrain. 4th base almost finished. Still continuing that Hydra production. I will say that while he seemingly has completed the build in theory, I am not used to seeing Zergs being so passive with their Hydras. Moving out now at 7 minutes 30 seconds, I feel like typically you'd actually want to be there a lot sooner with your Hydra force. Ooh, and running out to these Zealots moving out as well from BananaBrain. BananaBrain getting several free kills before CudleZerg finally recognizes and turns his units on attack move. That is a shame. I mean, I don't think he was going to be able to take that Zealot force anyways, but as it is, he's definitely not taking that Zealot force now. Linking up some reinforcements, but I still think it's unfortunately not enough. I mean, these Zealots are pretty tanky if you don't have a critical mass of Hydras to shoot them down. BananaBrain just slicing through these Hydras like a hot knife through butter. Following it up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 6 gates, 1 Stargate, although not producing any more Corsairs right now, and starting the Robo at 8 minutes 50 seconds in. Do have a couple drones here at the 4th and at the 3rd, but far from saturation. Still no natural gas taken either. The Zealots moving in, picking a few off, but ultimately I think CudleZerg is slowly losing this game. I mean, yes, he is making a good portion of Hydras, but BananaBrain starting to assemble all the pieces of the Protoss Death Ball that they need to run Zerg over. And CudleZerg seemingly not having the explosive growth most Zergs are used to at this point in the game. Corsairs just running around trying to make whatever targets be annoying where they can. I mean, there's this tug of war still going on in the front, in the middle, but CudleZerg seems to be slowly, steadily, and now rapidly losing ground. Reinforcements keep sweeping in, but fortunately piecemealing together like they are easily overwhelmed by the Protoss army that is advancing forward. 3rd started for BananaBrain. +2 almost done. Adding in some goons to his to his army composition, however, blocking himself in with that Templar. Though it doesn't seem to matter, it's currently double the supply of our Average Joes Zerg. Unfortunately, our Average Joes Zerg not having a very good showing this game. Far from getting absolutely steamrolled, however, definitely has been on the back foot this entire game. Ugh. And just like that, even though he has pushed BananaBrain all the way back to his natural, with those reinforcements that he has now freed behind that High Templar, it is not looking good for our Average Joes Zerg. +2 is finally done. We do have +1 for the Hydras, but I think this is about to be the end of the line here for CudleZerg. Now that the Protoss has started using the Goon Micro that the bots are very famous for, there's not much that they can do, that CudleZerg can do at its current tech level. Fortunately, losing all the drones over here to a DT, or excuse me, a High Templar, and even just gonna lose the whole base as BananaBrain just decides that that base doesn't deserve to exist anymore. Fortunately, CudleZerg getting a bit overwhelmed there in the mid-game macro. Trying to throw down a last-ditch defense here at the front, but I think that's going to be, unfortunately, not enough. We do have him trying to stall these units on these bridges, scoring some kills even, but BananaBrain pushing, seemingly completely in steamroll mode, never gonna stop. And with that, CudleZerg GG's out. BananaBrain takes game 2. Tying up the series, BananaBrain gets the protoss spots on the scoreboard. Will CudleZerg end up closing out the series or losing to our all-star protoss team? It's time for game 3. And starting this game off, top, we have Stardust, the top-ranked protoss on the SCHNAIL ladder, and the bottom, CudleZerg. Score is 1-1 in the ZvP Race War event match. We'll have to see if CudleZerg can eke out a win, deciding that he's had enough of these protoss shenanigans and pulling out one of the oldest tricks in the Zerg's book. He is doing a 5-pool. We'll have to see how Stardust responds. This may be a 2-gate opening. Might be Forge Fast Expand. We have seen plenty of Forge Fast Expands this entire event. Oh my goodness. That is definitely a gateway opening, which is the perfect counter to a 5-pool. We'll have to see if CudleZerg can start, get something done with these lings, but currently I do not have high hopes. Feels like Stardust is already at a huge, overwhelming advantage at this point. Although I say that, he hasn't started his gateways just yet. Starting 1. Scouts the pool right as this is about to be done. And throws down a second gateway. It's very tense. Very tense. Links hatched on the way before the first zealot is even out. Starting up another pylon. So he does get one. He has one zealot out currently. One zealot against 6 lings. 8 lings coming up. BananaBrain getting these zealots to team up with the probe in case they need to. CudleZerg deciding to focus on the gateways for now. Being as annoying as possible, running around. Trying to hit any building that he can to freak out the Zealot AI currently. And with that, Stardust is supply blocked. However, he does have a sizable number of Zealots out currently. We do have another batch of Lings coming up. And BananaBrain seemingly can't decide which way to send these Zealots, having them currently bug out while CudleZerg wails on all of his buildings. Apparently deciding to go after these 2 lings hitting the pylon. Is going to lose his gateway now. starting another gateway up here, pulling probes. And CudleZerg merry-go-rounding as much as he can, but this game is really starting to spiral out of his control. Stardust has another gateway up. And CudleZerg takes out a zealot. Stardust throwing down multiple gateways now. Splitting up his zealots. CudleZerg's going to take this chance to eliminate the ones that he can. He's taking out 3 on the left side. Evening this game back up, pulling himself back in. However, statistically, still looks like Stardust will be pulling out the win. Has a 4th gate now. Plenty of pylons started too. CudleZerg just unfortunately does not have enough really Zergling production to be as overwhelming as he would have maybe hoped. Doing a good job being as annoying as he can, but Stardust just outgrowing him at every turn. Is able to take out this pylon, so both of those gateways are currently unpowered for now. He's going to take out the other pylon here. I mean, he's being annoying. He is definitely being annoying. The question is, though, is being annoying enough to win? Down to 3 lings. CudleZerg. Despite some of his nice micro tactics, his control, unfortunately, not strong enough to take out Stardust. Merely playing out, it seems, the end of the game, but even if he's able to take out all of the pylons, all of the gateways, and not lose a single ling, it does not look good for him. And the Stargate even started. That unfortunately has put a giant clock on CudleZerg. He has to pretty much take care of these things before he can get out even 1 Corsair. Because if Stardust gets out 1 Corsair, he can pretty much take out all of CudleZerg's overlords and cut off the lings. Although, currently it doesn't seem to matter if he does that or not, because CudleZerg cannot seem to get more than about 8 or 12 lings at a given time. Trying to take out this pylon, but while he is slowing him down, he has still steadily grown his supply every time. Even microing these goons now to take out the... Oh my goodness. He's gonna try one last attack, but this is a fool's errand. There's nothing he can do here. And with that, GG is called. And with that, the bot event team takes this event match 2-1 against our Average Joes CudleZerg. Despite having the least amount of experience playing the bots in the Average Joes team, we're glad CudleZerg was able to at least fight back against the bot force and not get completely demolished. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you'll join us for our last event match before the league opening featuring our Average Joes team captain, Cross Toss, and a PvT race war. And also for the opening match of the league later this week. We hope you have a good evening and thank you for tuning in.